of continuity about RCB. There's not huge changes coming up and down. They're backing their players. They've got a solid core and they've qualified 3 years in a row. Will it be this year? We'll wait and see. But if I was an RCB fan, I wouldn't worry too much about whether they'll make it this year. I'd just go along the journey match by match by match and start enjoying the diverse talents that have been put together by the management this year. I like this side. It's got a really solid captain who's changing his game even at this age. You look at Faf du Plessis and you think, yes, nice, solid opener. But if you see what he's been doing around the leagues this year, his strike rates are actually going up. Towards the tail end of his career, Faf du Plessis is reinventing himself as a power play batter. And if he can do that consistently for RCB, look what it does. Because who's going to open the batting most likely with Faf is Virat Kohli. Now, Virat Kohli in the power play will hit the gaps if he wants, but Virat Kohli is not this, I'll go at 150 in the power play kind of batter. So if Faf takes off, it frees Virat Kohli and then it frees a lot of the others down the order, because I think it's a fabulous top six if everybody is in form. At number 3 is one of the most exciting players in Indian domestic cricket at the moment. Rajat Patidar is having a dream season. He's got 5 first-class hundreds. So he's a proper batter, but in T20, his numbers are absolutely staggering. And my mind keeps going back. Every time I see Rajat Patidar, I look at the scorecards on CricBuzz for every game that's going on. My eyes when MP are playing are drawn towards Patidar because I remember what Virat Kohli said to me once at the Eden Gardens. And he said, watch out for this kid. If he keeps batting like this, he's virtually impossible to bowl to. And these words came from Virat Kohli. If Patidar can have the kind of season that he's been having in domestic cricket, then RCB are settled with that number 3, which has been an issue for them for a while actually. Then at number 4, they've got Glenn Maxwell. I don't know which Maxwell's going to turn up. We've been saying this year in, year out. I don't know which Maxwell's going to turn up. But this time, spare a thought because he's coming out of a freak injury, a terrible injury. I'm not sure he's still 100%. But if they've got Maxwell firing at 4 and then DK in his form to finish at 6, he's been very good at CricBuzz, hasn't he, DK? But what he's doing, I don't know if a lot of you know, is in between days at CricBuzz, he's actually popping across to DY Patil to play a game and coming back. He gets up in the morning, he trains, then comes to the ground. So we'll wait and see how our DK goes at number 6. But at number 5 is that one area that they've got a little bit of a hole in, and they'd like someone like a Mahipal Lomror to fill that. And the reason I say Lomror is there isn't a left-hander in the top 6. Their first left-hander comes in with Shahbaz at number 7. So if they can use Lomror in that role, maybe even get him to bat at 4 if he's in good form and keep Maxwell's power for number 5, then that can come in handy. But he'll also have to give them an over or 2 because otherwise they don't have too much bowling in the top 6. Not Patidar, not Kohli, not Faf and not DK. So they need those 2 overs from Maxwell and Lomror to complete that top 6. And then I think they've got a really good tail because you've got Shahbaz, rate Shahbaz very highly. India have this core of left-arm spin bowling all-rounders. You think of Jadeja, you think of Akshar Patel, you've had Krunal Pandya playing that role for a while, but very quietly there's someone who's saying, I am here too. And that's Shahbaz, can bat powerfully, will give you 4 overs and is a gun fielder in the deep. So he's got that same combination that Jadeja and Akshar Patel provide. Then there's one Indu Hasaranga. I've always thought that the batsman in Hasaranga is getting shortchanged by Hasaranga the person. But in recent times, he started contributing a lot more with the bat. And if he's a very dangerous number 8, and he just manufactures wickets, doesn't he? So the spin is taken care of over there. Then you've got Hazelwood, you've got Siraj, and it's going to be a big season for Harshal Patel. If Harshal Patel does well, Siraj can bowl a lot more at the top. If Hazelwood is injured, they've got really good backup in Topley. Occasionally, they can play Willie too. So they've got some backup over there. And as I said, I'm just waiting to see how Harshal Patel goes. I've actually been very interested in the replacement that they've got. I thought Will Jacks was a very good buy. Jacks and Topley were really good buys at that auction because Jacks is one of this new breed of England players pioneered by Livingston in a way, but Livingston, Smead, Brooke, Jacks, there's this fresh thought that's going through English T20 cricket. They're all symbolic of that, will bowl a little bit. I thought they were looking at Jacks as a sort of long-term replacement for someone like Maxwell. But in the absence of Jacks, they've gone next best. They've picked Bracewell. But he can be a replacement for Maxwell and he can fill in for Hasaranga. Maybe not the same wicket-taking skills as Hasaranga, but he can fill in there and he's a very, very dangerous batter, as we all know very well. So very good choice once again. I like what Mike Hesson and the others are doing at RCB in that they're providing a lot of stability. They've hardly changed their side from 22. Just a little tinkering here, a little tinkering there. They've told their players, we trust you and we'll back you. Will the impact sub, the impact player, play a part for RCB? I'm not as certain because I think they've got a really well-constructed 11. The role that the impact player is going to play is already providable by people who are in the 11. But they could play it differently. Say someone like a Siraj bowls out his overs. You can get someone like Anuj Rawat or more likely Suyash Prabhudesai to come and say, okay, doesn't matter. You bat 10 balls. Can you give me 15, 18, 20 in those 10 balls? Do they need an extra pace bowler? If everyone starts going for runs, they've got Karan Sharma, the leggy, and they've got Akashdeep who does so well for Bengal. Then maybe they can use one of those and say to Patidar or even Lomrod, if you're not taking any overs out of Lomrod, therefore with the sub, to bring them back and use them as impact players. So that's the rather more limited role that I see for an impact sub in RCB. I've just got one sobering thought to leave you with. 17, 18, 19. RCB played at Chinnaswamy, didn't qualify. Went out of Chinnaswamy 20, 21, 22, they qualified. All you fans who make Chinnaswamy one of the great sights of the Tata IPL, is the Chinnaswamy a hurdle to RCB qualifying? That is going to be the big factor. Can they bowl well enough? And that's why I think Siraj needs to have a good year. Topley needs to have a good year. Topley, Hazelwood, whichever one of them is playing. And that's why I mentioned Harshal Patel at the top, because on those flat decks, he can sometimes be expensive. If they can bowl well, if they can overcome those short boundaries and the batting conditions by scoring a lot of runs themselves, then you want to back RCB to make the playoffs.